So we started our class yesterday with the architecture of SAP, how SAP works behind the scenes, right? So doesn't matter if it's ECC system or S4 system, we will have three layers in it: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. The purpose of the presentation layer is it is used to give the input and see the output, right? Basically, the screen that we see is nothing but our presentation layer. Then application layer means all the logical processing, whatever logic that we write will be processed on top of the application layer. Then database layer means nothing but database, right? So whenever we send any command, whenever we want to visualize any data in the system, we will be sending our input via the presentation layer. That input will be processed in the application layer, then it will extract the data from the database layer. The extracted data is further processed on the application layer, and the final output will be sent to your presentation layer. Okay, so this in general is the complete flow on how the architecture works. Now, the primary difference between ECC versus S4 architecture is whenever we develop anything, our focus should be okay. When talking about ECC system, whenever we develop anything, the focus should be that we should not put more load on the database. Okay, we cannot put more load on the database. It will create performance issues, right? But at the same time, when we talk about HANA system, it's quite opposite, because HANA database is an in-house database, in-memory database created by SAP themselves. It can handle more stress. Okay, you can put more load on the database than on the application layer. Okay, that is the difference between our ECC versus HANA architecture. Okay, then we have seen what are all the differences, some basic differences between ECC versus a HANA, right? So when we talk about ECC system, it uses a third-party database or a normal database like SQL, Oracle, etc. Like these kind of third-party database providers. But coming to the S4 or new upgraded systems, it uses HANA systems, I mean HANA databases. And these HANA databases are powered with RAM, right? Random access memory, because of which they are faster. Okay, HANA databases are faster. Then ECC system uses row store table concept. Row store means whenever we want to pull any data or write any data, the data search will happen in horizontal manner, left to right, in this manner, left to right in horizontal manner. Column store concept means the same search will happen in vertical manner, top to bottom, top to bottom. So again, as I said earlier, we'll talk in depth about these store concepts once we get into the second chapter of data dictionary. In there, we will create our tables and we'll do stuff there. Okay. Then ECC system will have slower processing or slower extraction power compared to your HANA system. The reason being, see, the extraction happens on top of your database, and in ECC system, people used to use third-party databases like SQL, Oracle, etc. Because of which they could not utilize the complete power of SAP. But now that they have created their own database, SAP understands their own database better than the third-party databases, because of which you will get a higher extraction power in S4 systems. Okay. Then in ECC system, we used to have multiple category of tables. Okay, so these categories are standard pooled and cluster tables. We will see them in next classes. But coming to HANA system, all these categories are replaced with only one single category, that is a standard table. Okay, I mean sorry, transparent table. Okay, then in ECC system, by default, every table that is already existing, pre-existing, or any table that you want to create on your own will be a row store table by default. We cannot change it. Whereas in HANA system, existing tables could be in column store, but if anytime you want to create any new table, you will have the feasibility to either make it a column store or a row store. That feasibility will be given to us by SAP. Okay, that's the difference between ECC versus HANA. Then what is a client? What is a server? Okay, server is nothing but it is a channel or a medium through which we can access an SAP system. Okay, let me just show you. I think we have our server ready. This is nothing but a server. So similar to this, you will be getting your own credentials. Okay, you don't need to install any software in your system. This desktop will be there by default in every system. It doesn't matter if it's Windows or iOS. You simply have to connect to the server that we provide. Okay, you don't need to install any program or any software in your laptop to access SAP. Okay, see, so now I connected to a server. Okay, this is nothing but my server. See, this is my server ID 183.82. This your number you're seeing, right? This is nothing but a server. Okay, then once if I want to log in to SAP, you see here it says client and there is a number here, right? 100. Okay, so like this I can divide my single SAP system. This is one single SAP system. This single SAP system can be divided into different parts by using this client. Okay, and every client will have a different password. Okay, every client will have a different password. Even if your user id is present in all the clients, you will have different passwords. If and again, it could be possible that you might have access to one client but you might not have access to the second or third client. Possible, totally possible. Okay, so depending upon situations and scenarios, you will be accessing these clients. So this is a test system that we are using here. So this is only having one client, that is this 100 client. Okay, client number is 100, and always your client din- uh, naming will be a number only. Okay, it can start with 000, it will end with 999. Okay, only three characters are possible here, three numericals. So it can start with 000, it can end with 999. So any number in between 000 and 999 can be a client number. They can use anything. Every project uses a different client number. So again, any number could be there on your client. Okay, how to connect to the server, how to do these things, login and all, we'll have a separate session. Once these demos are completed, once your registration is completed, you will be given your server details. So once you receive those server details, we'll have a demo on how you can access the server, how to open SAP system, how to log in into SAP system, and all those things. We will have a separate session. Okay. Then introduction to ABAP, right? So means what are all the data extraction or what are all the data manipulation statements that we normally use in ABAP. First, select. Select means general definition of select is to get. To get. So it is used to extract the data from the database. Select. Then we have update. Update means if we want to change any existing data in the uh, database table, we have to use update. Then insert means if you want to add any new data. Okay, if you want to add new records into the database table, it is insert. Then modify. Modify is dynamic. It is both update and insert. First, it will try to update the data. If not, it will try to insert the data. Okay, both. It can perform both. Then delete. Delete is used to just delete the data in the database. That's it. So these are normal syntax, or not exactly syntax, just statements that we use in the ABAP. Okay. Then what is a table? What is a database? Right. So database table is nothing but uh, it is used to store our data in the database in a tabular format. Okay. That's what is a database table is. Then what is a database? It is nothing but a storage unit, a memory unit, a place to store the information of your organization, data of your organization. That is your database. That's it. Okay. Then introduction to ABAP workbench objects. So in SAP we have two types of objects, workbench object and customizing object. We as the ABAP team are always responsible for workbench objects. Customizing objects are being taken care by your functional teams. We are not responsible for customizing objects, they are not responsible for workbench objects. Okay, that's it. Then what are all the landscapes in SAP? Okay, when we talk about landscapes, what are the different systems that are available in SAP? So no matter which project you get into, no matter which client it is, which location it is, minimum every project will have three systems. Every project minimum. Okay, those landscapes are development, quality, production. So the purpose of development system is every development activity, anything that you want to create, modify or delete should be performed only in the development system, not in quality, not in production. You can't even perform, to be honest, you can't even perform any change in quality or production system. You will not have the access. Okay, every project will restrict it. Okay, you can't even perform any change directly in quality or production. You can only perform it in development system. Then the purpose of quality system is after the development is completed, the uh, functionality that you have developed should be tested by either your functional team or your business user. So this testing will be done in quality system. Once the testing is completed, everything is green, then they will move it to production system. Okay, and production system is the live system in which we will have the real time business transactions, and we should never ever change any data in production system. Never. Okay. Then in some projects, we might have a couple of additional systems also we have seen. So those systems are sandbox system and regression system. Sandbox system means it is used to practice purposes. Okay, just to practice before actually doing the development. If you want to practice anything, that can be done in the sandbox system. Then regression system means if your user wants to perform more testing, right? More testing before migrating it to production system, they can do it in the regression system. Okay, that is your regression system. So this is what we have discussed till yesterday. So any doubt, anyone from yesterday's class? Okay, I'll take it as a no. Then category of an object. Okay, so object is nothing but anything that you create, change or delete in SAP is nothing but an object. So a table can be an object, a program can be an object. Like that we have different categories of objects. Okay, so these are called as RICEF objects. RICEF. Okay, RICEF: reports, interfaces, classes, enhancement, forms. Okay, RICEF. We will discuss about each and every RICEF object as we proceed further. Okay, but first of all, what are all the different category of objects do we have? Okay, we have in general two objects: local object and transportable object. Local, transportable. Local means, as the name says, local means stagnant, right? Stagnant at one place. So local object, whenever we create anything as a local object, then these cannot be transported to quality or production system. Okay, see, in real time, whenever we get any requirement in real time, okay, whenever we get any requirement, we should always use a transportable object. Why? Because any requirement that a user is asking us should be available in the production system, not in development system. Correct? All the business transactions happens where? In our production system. So if you are creating anything in the development system as a local object which cannot be transported to quality or production system, then what is the purpose of creating it? Correct? So in real time, always remember, we should always use a transportable object, not a local object. Okay, then transportable object means, as I said just now, these can be transported or moved to quality or production system using one transport request. Okay, there is something called as a transport request. I'll just show the transport request in a few minutes. Okay, so the prerequisite of transportable object is a transport request. Your local object will not have any transport request. Since it does not have any transport request, we cannot migrate our changes to quality or production system. It's not possible. Okay, that is the difference between local versus transportable object. Okay, so let's understand the difference when to use local, when to use transportable, what is local, what is transportable. Okay, so whenever we save anything, doesn't matter whatever the object it is. I told you rise of objects, right? RSEF. No matter which rise of object that you create, if you are creating it in a local object, okay, if you are creating it as a local object, then it will be saved under a temporary package. What is a package? I'll tell you next slide. Okay, temporary package. Temporary package means $tmp. $tmp is the name of the temporary package. Okay, by defaultly every local object in SAP will be saved in the $tmp package. Okay, done. Whereas every transportable object will have a separate package and it will be saved in a transport request. Okay, transport request also I'll show you in the next slide. Okay, then local object means the system will not create any transport request for a local object, because the purpose of a local object is to practice things. Okay, I just told you that we will have a system called as a sandbox system in which you can perform your practice things, correct? But let's say not every project will have a sandbox system. Not every project will have it. Only few projects will have it. So if your project is not having any sandbox system, but if you want to practice anything before actually developing things, you want to practice it, right? So in this case, rather than saving it as a transportable object in a transport request, you can create it as a local object. Just to practice it as a local object, you can practice it. No project will keep you any restrictions from create any number of objects. You can create 100 objects also as a local object. No project will question you why did you create it as a local object. It's your wish. You are practicing it. Someone is rejoining. I'm getting disturbances. Okay. Yeah. So, so no matter which project you get into, no matter which location it is, which type of project it is, no project will have any restriction on local objects. Your wish, you can create any number of local objects for your practice purpose. Okay, done. Then local object means again it's local. It will not have any transport request, so we cannot migrate it to quality or production system. And always remember, local objects are only created in development system, not in quality, not in production. Okay, creation of an object, change, modification, deletion. All these things should only be done in development system. Correct? Thumb rule. Thumb rule is any creation, modification or deletion should happen only in development system. So you cannot create a local object in quality or production system. It can only be done in development system. Thumb rule. Okay, done. Then transportable object means these are created in development system but transported to quality and production system. Possible to transport. Then local object is created for practice or testing purposes. Okay, as I said, before you do the actual development, if you want to practice anything, you want to test anything from your side, do it, create it as a local object. Once you feel like, yes, my development is correct, whatever I'm doing is working fine, this is as per the user requirement, then you can convert your local object into a transportable object. That is also possible. Or else, if you want to create a new transportable object completely, that is also fine. We will show you both how to convert a local object into a transportable object, or once after creating the local object, if you feel like it is working fine but you don't want to convert a local object into a transportable object, instead you want to create a new transportable object similar to the local object, how to do it. Okay, both scenarios will show you, your wish, up to you. You can choose anything. You can either convert it to a transportable object or create a new transportable object. Okay, so this is about local versus transportable objects. So any doubt till now, anyone? So I just told you about a package, correct? I told you that every local object will be saved under a temporary package called as $TMP, correct? $TMP, temporary package. So package is nothing but a folder. Okay. See, if I give you a file, let's say I'm giving you a document, I ask you to save it in your PC. What will you do? You will either put it on your desktop or else you will put it in your my PC, some folder you will put it. Correct? Doesn't matter whatever file if I give, you will either put it in one folder. Even desktop is a folder. Correct? If you open your my PC, just a sec. Okay. See, this doesn't matter wherever you go. See, even desktop is a folder for you. Downloads, all these things are your folders only. So if I give you any file, document, photo, video, whatever it is, you will be saving it where? In a folder, correct? In the desktop, in your PC. So similarly in SAP also, whenever you create any object, okay, whenever you save any object, it should be saved in a folder. That folder is nothing but a package. Okay, that folder is nothing but a package. So package is a folder which is used to store your objects, collect your objects, so that all the similar files will be in one single folder. So example, see, because of this training, I am giving you different documents, correct, throughout the course. So definitely what you will do, you create a new folder in your system. In that new folder you will be saving all these documents, correct. Everyone will do the same thing. You will be creating a new folder, you will be saving all these files in the one single folder, because these are all related to SAP training, correct. So similar to that, even when we create actual objects in the SAP, similar objects should be stored in one single package. Okay, similar objects should be stored in one single package. So how to choose the package, which package to choose, how to create a package and all are very simple. We will talk about it when we get into a system. Okay, either tomorrow or day after tomorrow, once we complete this introduction of, we will get into the system. The first thing that we will create is a package, because no matter which type of RISEF object you want to create, always any RISEF object should be stored in a package. First thing you should learn in SAP is creation of package. Okay, that is why. Done. Then what are all the different categories of packages? Okay, so we have three categories of packages. Three. First, local package, standard package, custom package. Local or temporary package means we have just seen, right? Any local object that you create, that will be saved in a temporary package. $TMP. This $TMP. Okay, any local object that you create for practice purpose will be stored in a temporary package $TMP. That is nothing but a local package or a temporary package. Done. Then standard package. Standard package means these are created by SAP. Okay, created by SAP themselves, and we as ABAPers, we should never change anything in the standard package. Anything, no matter if you feel not even one single dot. We should not even add a dot, remove a dot. Okay, so standard packages, always remember, we should never make any changes to the standard packages as an ABAPer. You might have the access, but we should never change standard packages. Then finally, custom packages. So custom packages means these are created by the development team itself. Development team means us, ABAP team. Okay, custom packages are created by the ABAP team, and we will have the free will to modify it as per the user requirement. Okay, no restriction here, no restriction on the custom packages. So we can modify it whenever we want to as per the user requirement. And 90% of the cases we will only use custom packages. 90% of the cases. Remaining, I would say 8 to 9%. Okay, out of remaining 10%, 8 9% you will use local objects to practice it. Only 1 2% you will use standard packages. Only 1 2%. That is a very exceptional case to use a standard package. So always remember, whenever we create any object, no matter what object it is, program, table, whatever it is, it should always be saved in a custom package. Custom is nothing but created by us. Okay, remember that. Custom means created by us, created by ABAP. Standard means given by SAP. Okay, thumb rule that you have to keep in your mind. Standard means delivered by SAP, provided by SAP. Simple. Custom means created by ABAP. Okay, done. Then what is a transport request? Okay, TR. Okay, so in real time we will call it as a TR. In project we will call it as a TR. We will not call it as a transport request. Okay, simply we will call it as a TR. So going further, we will also call it as a TR only. Okay, because I told you in the initial phase itself, we will be using project naming conventions, project standards. So if we keep continuing even during the practice session itself, if we are habituated to use project naming conventions, once you get into a project, it will be easy for you to cope up with your colleagues, or else you will be confused. What terminology are they using? You will not understand the terminology, right? That is the reason we will use project standards. Okay, TR. Now, what is a TR? So, whenever you save any object in a custom package or a standard package, okay, normally you will never save it in standard package, but even if you do so, doesn't matter. If you are saving any object in a a custom package or a standard package, system will prompt for a transport request. Okay, system will prompt for a transport request. Prompt means you will get a pop-up. Basically, you'll get a pop-up stating that choose a transport request. That's it. Simple, just a pop-up. Okay, there we have to create a new transport request. Okay, create a new transport request in which you want to save this new object that you are creating. Okay, that is nothing but a transport request. So every transportable object will be saved in a package. Okay, local or temporary packages, any object that you create or change in local or temporary packages is not associated with a transport request. Only the objects that are saved in a standard or a custom package will have transport request. Okay, and any object that you create in standard or custom packages cannot be a local object. Okay, any object that you create in standard or custom packages cannot be a local object. If you are saving it in a package, then it should have a TR. Should have a TR. Okay, and so doesn't matter whichever project you go to, a TR will have a separate naming convention. Okay, it will have a separate naming convention. That naming convention is given here. See, first three letters of your transport request will be nothing but your system ID. Okay, so we are assuming what is our system ID? DE1, QE1, PE1. Correct? This is our system ID. This is what we are assuming for now. So observe the transport request here is starting with what? DE1. Okay, DE1. Then we will have K. Okay, followed by K. Don't ask what is a K. It is something given by SAP directly. Okay, no one knows what's K. Okay, so K. Every project will have the same naming convention. After K, you will have a unique number. Okay, you will have a unique number after K. That unique number is auto generated. Okay, auto generated. It's like you are creating a new request. Every time you create a new request, you will get a new transaction ID. Correct? When you are performing any you're placing any order anywhere, you will get a transaction ID. Correct? Which will be unique, auto generated, system generated transaction ID. Similar to that, this transport request is also system generated. Okay, but this transport request will have the system ID and K common. System ID and K as common. Okay. Let me just show you in the system. How does it look like? Ignore what am I doing and all. You will understand these things in a while. In 2 3 days, you will understand all this. Okay. See, this is nothing but a transport request. Okay. See, what is my current system name? I can see it here. See, system is A4H. A4H, 100 is client number. Okay, A4H, client 100 is client number. 1 means this is the first session I opened. No? That's why 1. So if I open a new session, I'll get 2. But again, it's not required for you for now. See, I'll get two because it's a second session, second window that I just opened. Okay, that's it. Okay, so see, here it is starting with A4H, my system name. So see the transport request. How is it? A4H first system ID, then K followed with K, then a unique number, unique system generated number. Okay, this is how your transport request will look like. Okay, transport request will look like this. No matter which project, again repeating, no matter which project you get into, which client you get into, doesn't matter if it's implementation project, support project, whatever the project it is, you will always have same naming convention for a transport request. It will start with the system name followed by K, then a unique number. Okay, a unique number. That is a transport request. So any doubt in this slide, anyone? Just a second, I'm having a message. My screen is not visible to you. Uh, I'm guessing it's a problem only with you. Kindly try to rejoin because I think everyone else can see.
Hello.
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah, I'm Jagdish. So my doubt is we have a prompt uh, whenever we are creating. I mean, whenever we are trying to save a file in the custom package, there will be a prompt in the a prompt for tier, right?
Correct.
So whenever we are trying to save a file or create a new file in the local, and we are making it to we are trying to move it to the custom package, then how can we create a tier, or will it give another prompt? I mean, you got my point.
Yes, I got your point. Yes, it will give a new prompt. We'll show it to you directly in the system because now we don't want to confuse you with those things. So those scenarios we will cover anyhow. We'll change the package, we will change the TR also. All things are possible.
Thank
Yep. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah. Please rejoin if you're not able to see the screen. I guess it's a problem with your network or I'm not sure. So please rejoin if you're not able to see it. Okay, so that's about the transport request. Okay, then what are all the different types of transport requests? Okay, now we understood what is a transport request. A transport request is a unique request number that is auto generated in the system whenever we save any object in a custom or standard package. Okay, this is what a transport request is. Now, what types of transport requests do we have? First is workbench, second is customizing. So what did I tell you in the previous slides? We said ABAP workbench objects. Okay, I told you that there are two types of objects in SAP, workbench and customizing. Correct? Workbench and customizing. And I said workbench objects should be taken care by ABAP team. Customizing objects should be taken care by your functional team. So with that rule in place, whenever you create any workbench object, any rise of object, all rise of objects that I just said, reports, interfaces, class, enhancements, forms, all these are ABAP objects. Rise of objects are workbench objects. So 90% of the time we will only work with workbench TR, workbench transport request. 90% of the time. Okay, only 10% of the time we might use a customizing TR. So these customizing TRs are normally used by your functional teams. Okay, whenever I want to save any configurations in the system or whenever I want to save any data in the system, then functional team uses customizing TR. So remember that we will not do any configurations in the system. System configurations are not done by ABAP team. System data maintenance is also not done by ABAP team. Okay, data will also be maintained by your functional team. Okay, so whenever you add any new entries to the table that requires a customizing transport request, this addition will also be done by your functional team in most of the cases. Okay, I told you 90% workbench, 10% customizing. This is the reason. In some scenarios, A functional team might ask us to maintain the data. I'll show you how to maintain the data in a table, but still again, in real time, mostly the data maintenance will be done by your functional team only, not a BAP team. Okay, we always create a workbench tier. Workbench tier. See in the system also, if I have to show you, see here, what does it say? Workbench request, correct? So this is the first screen. This is the first screen. Workbench request. So if I scroll down, see here, it's called customizing request. Okay, so we will have two types of request. See in like even if you just look at the descriptions of these transport requests which were created earlier, the packages and see anything that is related to ABAP, BDCs, these things are in workbench request. Correct, workbench request. If you look at the description of a customizing request, what does it say? Table entries, some sample like that. Correct. So any system configurations or data in the table will be saved in the customizing request, data of the table. But whenever we create any workbench object, it will be saved in a workbench transport request. Again, you don't need to worry what to choose, when to choose. The minute you click save, automatically system will prompt. System itself will judge whether it will require a workbench request or a customizing request. It will give you the prompt for either customizing or workbench. System itself will choose it for you. You don't need to choose. Okay, system itself will evaluate what type of object you are creating or changing. Depending on the type of the object, system will give you a prompt for either workbench or a customizing. Okay, you don't need to worry which one to choose, how to judge and all. System itself will evaluate for you. You don't need to evaluate. Okay, done. Then transaction code, most important concept in SAP. If you don't know transaction code, from one screen you can't do anything. You just can't do anything in SAP. Anything other than logging into SAP, you can't perform any action in SAP if you don't understand the concept of transaction codes. It is the most easiest concept, don't worry. Okay, so these transaction codes, or in real time we'll call it as a T code. T stands for transaction. Okay, T code. So T codes are shortcuts to navigate from one screen to another screen in SAP. Okay, in layman terms, I'm explaining you. T codes are nothing but used to navigate from one screen to another screen in SAP. Why should we use transaction code? Okay, simple. See, understand this. Okay, consider any coding platform that you might aware of. You might be aware of Python, R programming, C language, Java, whatever you are aware of. Okay, no matter which coding platform you take, the minute you open the software, you will get a coding screen. Agree? Every don't doesn't matter whatever this coding software is. Whenever you open any coding software, you will directly get a coding screen wherein you have to write the code. But this is the first screen of SAP. Correct? First screen of SAP. Where is coding screen in this? Or how to create a table in this? How to create any rise of object? Nothing. There is nothing in this. Correct? So because SAP, as we said, is an ocean which has different modules. So an ABAPer should use same SAP. Every functional team also should use the same SAP. So if by defaultly when I'm opening SAP, if I get a coding screen, what will functional will do? Correct? Functional team cannot do anything because they are not coding people. Yes, only ABAP team is a development team. We are responsible for that, not your functional team. So by default, no matter if you are a BAPer or a functional guy, you will always get this screen only. From this screen, if you want to navigate to any other screen, okay, any other screen in SAP, we have to use transaction code. Okay, that is a transaction. That is the use of a transaction code. That is the reason we have transaction codes in SAP. Okay, now, okay, so see again, we will have thousands of transaction codes in SAP. We as an ABAPer don't need to worry about all the transaction codes. At the most, we will use 10 to 15. That's it. Maximum, that is also maximum 10 to 15 transaction codes. You just need to remember these many. Okay, 10 to 15 transaction codes. Don't worry again. Every transaction code is well documented in your documents. So there you can find your transaction codes in the documents itself. Okay, the documents that we will be sharing now, in that the transaction codes will be available for each and every object. I told you rise of object, right? For each rise of object, what are all the transaction codes involved will be available in the document. Okay. Now, so any transaction code that is starting with SE, SE, then anything. Okay, after SE it could be anything. SE star means here star could be anything. Okay, then starting with SE, after SE it could be anything. That's what star means. Okay, pattern. Star is pattern basically. SE is nothing but an ABAP T code. Okay, any T code starting with SE is ABAP T code by default. SE means system engineering. System engineering. Okay, then any T code starting with SM. Okay, SM is functional T code. Okay, functional T code. SM means system maintenance. System maintenance. Okay, SC system engineering, SM system maintenance. Okay, so just now what did I do? I tried to navigate to transport organizer to show you a TR, correct, transport request. So for that purpose what did I do? See, this is called as a command field. On top left corner we will have this search bar kind of things. Okay, search bar kind of object here. So this is called as a command field in SAP. So in this command field we have to give our transaction code and make sure this is active. See, some people might have it like this. Okay, if you first open your SAP you might have it like this. You might be confused, where is my command field? Just click on these arrows, open command field, you'll get it. That's it. Okay, this is to open and close your command field. That's it. Okay, that's it. So in this command field only we have to provide our T code. So I just gave a T code called SE09. Okay, so I told you, right, anything that is starting with SC is what? An ABAP related T code. So this is ABAP T code. After SC it could be anything, I said. Yes, I said after SC it could be anything. So in this case it is 09. Okay, so after giving the T code you have to click on enter on your keyboard. Enter. The minute you enter, see, first I was in one screen. From that screen I came to this screen. Okay, from that screen I came to this screen. So this is the purpose of your transaction code basically. And at any given point of time, you can see the transaction code that I'm using here, bottom. Okay, here session manager. So this is the first screen. That is why it is calling it as session manager. If I navigate to any T code, again let me go to SC09. See, here you can see the current T code that I'm in. SC09 is the current T code. Okay, see, transaction SC09. Okay, so this is nothing but a transaction code. Very important, guys. If you want to navigate to any screen in SAP, transaction code is the only medium via which we can navigate. Okay, I'll give you a list of transaction codes that you can remember. That's very easy. It's not rocket science again. Just remembering what 10-15 transaction codes is the simplest thing that any person can do. Anyhow, the minute you start practicing it, every single day you will be opening the T code every day. So automatically you will get habituated to understanding or remembering these T codes by end of this 3.5 months. Okay, don't worry on remembering those things. It's very easy. Okay, then types of transaction codes. Okay, what type of transaction codes do I have in the system? First, standard. Second is custom. Standard transaction code and custom transaction code. Again, standard means, I said earlier, right, in the standard packages, if you're listening to the term standard, it means created by SAP. Simple. No need to have any benefit of doubt in your mind. If you are hearing the word standard, it means it is created by SAP only, delivered by SAP, changed by SAP. However you may call it, you can call it. But standard means basically SAP. Done. Then we will have custom transaction. Okay, custom transaction means, again, custom means created by ABAP team. Correct? Custom means created by ABAP team. So standard packages are delivered by SAP, and we as an ABAPer, we should never change standard T codes. Never. Never, never means never. Okay, you will not even get one single requirement to change standard T code. Okay, even if you work for 20, 25, 30 years also, you will never get a requirement to change transaction standard transaction code. No one will change the standard transaction code in any project. In any project, no one will change it, no matter which project it is, which location it is, which country it is. No one will change standard transaction code. Okay, but we will use standard transaction codes for some purpose. I'll tell you why we'll use and all. I'll tell you. But remember, we should never modify standard transaction codes. Then, custom transaction codes are created by ABAP team, and creating a transaction code is the easiest thing that you can do in SAP. It will hardly take 2 minutes to create a transaction code. You don't need coding knowledge also to create a transaction code. Okay. See, I told you right in the previous class, ABAP is not just coding. Apart from coding, also we will have some concepts. So this is one such concept. Creation of the custom T code does not require any coding language or knowledge. Okay, it's just a simple creation. We'll have to just fill out some details. It's like filling a form. That's it. Okay, you'll be filling a registration form, right? That's how your custom T code will be look like. Okay, very simple. Okay, these custom T codes are created by the ABAP team, and it is our wish. If we want to modify any custom T code, we can modify it as per the requirement. Okay, as per the requirement, whenever a user is requesting for any creation, change, deletion, we can do it. No restriction there. Okay, when it comes to custom. Okay, so any doubt in transport request, transaction code, types of transaction code, anything. So if you can put it, yeah, go then.
People like SC11, SC complete. Is it
Yeah, SC11, SC38.
access the database?
Go then. Your voice is not clear. I am hearing disturbance from your background.
What's the next one? Only,
You're not audible, go then, or you can type your query in the chat. I'll answer that. Okay. Anyone else? By the time Govardhan pings us, anyone else has any doubt? Okay, I take it as no one is having any doubt. Okay, let's take a minute to quickly summarize what we have discussed. Govardhan, please ping it in the chat. Once the we complete this summary, I'll get back to your doubt. Okay, so we started today's class with the object. Okay, what is an object? What are the different types of objects? Rise of objects we spoke about, right? Reports, interfaces, enhancements, classes, and forms. Okay, then category of objects: local object, transportable object. Local object means created locally in the system under a temporary package which cannot be transported to quality or production system. We will only create the local object to practice anything. Okay, that is the purpose of local object. Then transportable objects are created in order to meet the client requirement. Okay, in real time we'll always use transportable object, and every transportable object will be saved under a transport request, also called as a TR. TR. Okay, done. Anyhow. Then local objects are created under the $TMP package, whereas transportable object will have a unique transport request. And for any local object, you will not get any system will not create any transport request, whereas every transportable object will have a unique transport request. The local object cannot be transported to quality or production from development system. Means you can only create a local object in the development system. We cannot create a local object in quality or production system. Not possible. Then transportable object means We will create it in the development system. These can be transported to quality or production system via a transport request TR. And local objects are created for practice purpose. Transportable objects are created to meet the client requirement. Then what is a package? Package is like a folder or which is used to collect your objects. Okay. Whenever we create any object, that should be saved in a package. So that package can be a local package, standard package, or custom package. Local package means local packages are only used when we save it in a local object. Okay, if we are saving any object as a local object, then it will be saved in a local transport request $tmp. Sorry, local package $tmp. Standard packages are created by SAP, delivered by SAP. We should never change standard packages. We should not even save any of the custom changes, any of the custom developments in the standard package. Okay. Then custom package created by ABAP team, created by development team. 90% of the time we will only use custom packages. We can change custom packages. We can change the objects in the custom packages as per the client requirement. Okay, create, change, delete you can do in custom packages by uh, with the client requirement, as per the client requirement. Then what is a transport request? TR is a unique number, okay, system generated unique number, which is used to transport the changes from one system to another system. Basically from development to quality, quality to production. Again, if you're having doubt like can I try directly transport it from development to production? Not possible. Not possible. You cannot transport change from directly development to production. It's not possible. It has to go through the flow. Development, quality, production. Very important. Development, quality, then only production. Without moving to quality, you cannot move it to production. It's not possible. No matter which project it is, again, no matter which project it is, you cannot move. Okay, done. Then every transport request will have a separate naming convention. Okay, that naming convention is first it will start with DE1. DE1 means my system ID here. Okay, your system ID, then followed by K. After K, you will have a unique number, system generated unique number. Okay, that's it. That's how your transport request will look like. Then what are the types of transport request? You will have two types of transport request: workbench, customizing. Workbench, customizing. Workbench means any workbench object, any rise of object that an ABAP team creates will be saved in a workbench transport request. Any system configurations, any table entries will be stored in a customizing TR. As an ABAP team, we always uses uh, workbench TR. Your customizing TR will be used by your functional team. Then transaction code or T code. So T codes are like shortcuts which are used to navigate from one screen to another screen. From one place to another place, if we want to navigate, we have to use T code. No matter if you are a development team, functional team, client, whoever you are, everyone will use T code only to navigate from one system to, sorry, one place to another place. Everyone, ABAP team, development team, basis team, whatever the team it is, or your client, everyone will use T code. Only T code to navigate from one screen to another screen. Everyone uses this. Okay. Then any T code that is starting with SE. SE is ABAP T code. Any T code that is starting with SM is a functional T code. Okay. Then types of transaction codes are types of T codes. Standard T code, custom T code. Standard T code means created by SAP, delivered by SAP. We as an ABAPer should never change, should never modify standard T code. Okay. Custom T codes means created by ABAP team. We will create it without with again creating a T code will not require any coding language, coding knowledge. We can create it within 2 minutes, and we will modify the custom T codes. We can modify our custom T codes as per the client requirement. Okay. So this is about today's class. Any doubt? Anyone? Govardhan, I still don't see your ping. I'm guessing your doubt is resolved, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, result.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else? Okay, I'll wait for a minute for you to ping it in the chat if you're having any doubt. After which we will conclude today's call. We will meet tomorrow for our class one. Okay, I don't see any pings in the chat. So yeah, that's all for today, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. So tomorrow we will see. We might create a package tomorrow in the system directly. So please don't miss tomorrow's class. Either tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will end this complete introduction to SAP. After which we will be starting to create new objects uh, in SAP by using our from second chapter 2. Okay, we will end the chapter 1 by end of this week, and starting next week we will start data dictionary. Okay, I'll take it as a no. Fine, let's meet tomorrow. Bye.